Hello, I'm Nishchal Agnihotri and I'm again back here on a Tuesday with another content hack. And this time we're going to talk about how to calculate time for content creation so that we don't miss deadlines. Initially, during my freelancing career, I used to miss a lot of deadlines, and that led to many frustrating clients. It's not just with clients, even when you're working in a larger organization or a startup, they depend on you on a lot on you for content creation. And planning your content creation process is super important. So you need to get familiarized with this concept called creating a work order, right? And figuring out how many hours would it take for a person like you to actually create a content asset. And when you do this planning, it's not just about how long are you going to take writing it. It's also about ideation, writing, creating that asset from scratch, then polishing it and scrubbing it, which means, multiple rounds of iterations, and then taking it to the publishing mode. Many content assets fizzle down in between ideation and publishing because this planning never happens. So I'm going to introduce you to four steps that will help you avoid missing deadlines. The first one is to be able to calculate that time that you would spend in creating one content asset. And each content asset will have its own production time. It could be podcast script, it could be a survey questionnaire, it could be an email cadence with 3 emails or email cadence with 8 emails, a blog post or anything of that sorts. And the second step would be to set up a schedule, because typically your brain works in a certain way, at least for writers. Writers really appreciate routines. So you'll have to set up your schedule for research separately, having lung space, which means taking your breaks at the right time, having that secluded time for thinking and reviewing your own work, and then taking it through peer review and iterations, right? Step three would be to articulate and agree. So you also have to set up the right expectations as to what you want to get out of this content asset, and also plan how many projects you're working on, how many iterations would they go through, and don't make yourself feel that you're dedicating too much time for any single client or any single project, so that you don't feel overwhelmed about creating a content asset. And the fourth and last step is actually what you see in most marketing sessions or lessons, is the content calendar. So if you say you're able to create a content calendar, then that's great. But typically we don't stick to the content calendar because we don't plan for these three steps ahead of time. So figure out how do you set up that all these things together to finally get to your content calendar so that you don't miss a deadline by the day. And hopefully you never miss a deadline. I'll come back with another content hack next Tuesday.